Welcome back. The Camel's Kidney Walk is coming up shortly, September 24th. Joining us today to talk about what it means to be a donor. Susan Duncan joining us, very well known in our community, formerly with the Camels Daily and now at Interior Health. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Not a lot of people, it seems to me, knew at the time what you were about to undergo. This is about a year ago, you said, but you have a story that isn't unique, but it's not every day you meet somebody that gives an organ away. And this is what you did. You donated a kidney to someone that at the time you barely knew.
I didn't know him very well at all, but I did know his story, and I was really impressed by something that he and his wife had done.
Let's talk about that. You work at Interior Health, and that's how you met this fellow. Let's hear about that.
Well, I work with I don't work with his wife, but she also works at Interior Health, and I had heard that they were going to go to Lithuania and adopt 3 children, and they actually were going to adopt 1 child, but there were 2 brothers and a little sister, and they asked them if they would take them so the family wouldn't be separated. So over they went and adopted these 3 children, and I did a story on that for the newsletter for Interior Health.
Yes.
And that's how I knew Genevieve, but I'd never met Lloyd.
And Lloyd, her husband, it was the one that turns out he's on dialysis. One of his kidneys just quite suddenly, or his kidneys quite suddenly stopped working, and he was in need of a kidney. And jokingly, you said to him, let me know if there's anything I can do.
Well, what had happened was about 18 months after they got the kids,
yes.
and they brought these little kids back, and they didn't speak a word of English,
yes.
you know, and anyway, about 18 months later, I ran into them again, and here he was on dialysis. He had just suddenly become ill, and so I met him for the first time then, and I said, well, let me know if I can do anything short of donating a kidney. And he went, well, I'm A positive. And I thought, okay, I'm A positive as well, my blood type. And maybe I should just look into the living donor program. And to be honest, I didn't actually think I'd be a match, but what was the harm in looking into it?
And you were a match.
As all the testing that went on for about 9 months, I was a match. So in May, they said, yeah, you guys are a match. And we said, well, let's do it. And we did it in July.
And here you are. This is the picture pre-op, I believe. You had this done at Royal Inland, or did you go to the coast?
St. Paul's Hospital.
St. Paul's in Vancouver. And so did it cross your mind, like, wow, am I going to be okay out of all of this? Did you worry about your own health? You have your own family to think of.
Yes, I did. You know, I looked into it, and including my family doctor also said, no, it's okay, you'll be fine, and people can live with only 1 kidney very well. You really don't need 2 kidneys.
This is Lloyd. You can see that his health had been declining as he was approaching the need for this kidney more and more. These shots, of course, with his 3 children, who he's clearly explaining things to.
Right.
And what a process to go through. You've just gotten 3 children from another country, and they love you and depend on you, and you're sick. How lucky was he to find you?
How lucky were they to find him?
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I love it that you're so selfless about all of this. I think it's wonderful what they're doing as well. That's a story into itself, bringing 3 children over here. But you want to stay healthy for your kids too, and you've given that gift. You sort of, there's a link here between all of you doing something for the next, and I think that's amazing.
Well, we did all contribute, I think, for those kids,
Absolutely.
and that was great. And you know, really, it was not an arduous process for me. I went in for surgery on Monday morning of July 11th. I was discharged on Wednesday, and I actually drove home with my husband on the Friday, and basically I felt kind of unwell for about 8 days, and I went back to work after 2 weeks. They say 6 weeks, but that's for people with a heavy lifting type job.
Sure.
Yeah, so mine's a desk job, so it was easier to do that. And then by September I was running again, and I actually have felt no ill effects at all.
Isn't that amazing? Yes.
So it would be really great if other people, if they thought they could be a donor,
Sure.
looked into it. It's not for everybody.
No.
But there's other ways people can support all these people who have kidney disease and are waiting for a transplant.
And it is sad because, as you know, the list of donors is not nearly as high as it could be, right? And from what I understand, getting a living donated organ, it is a better it lasts longer, for lack of a better way of saying it, than say someone's in a car accident tragically and they donate a kidney. That kidney might not last as long as yours would because you were alive.
That's what I read in the material.
Yes.
It lasts longer and has a greater chance also of success.
Yes.
And, you know, there's always that chance of rejection.
Yes.
And Lloyd hasn't had that at all.
Yeah.
I gave him a pretty good kidney too, because the surgeon said that it started working even before it was completely attached.
Well done,
So,
taking
yeah.
care of those organs so well. Good for you.
He gave my kidney a name, actually. He calls it Kiddo.
Oh, really? Good for him, and I trust he's doing very well now.
He's doing very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's just a great example of how you can make a difference in someone else's life. I'm sure you would encourage other people to get on the donor list.
Everybody should be on that donor list if they can be, not, you know, to be a living donor necessarily, but to do something if they happen to die suddenly and unexpectedly.
Absolutely.
They can certainly give a gift, because I think there's 78 people right now in the Royal Inland catchment area waiting for a kidney.
Yes, and whether that comes from somebody that passes or from somebody that's alive. And really, if enough people were on the list, they could probably find live donors. It's just that a lot of people are not signing up.
Well, people don't even think about being a living donor, I think.
Right.
And, but as they say, you live very well with just one kidney. I don't even know why we have two kidneys. But,
Right. Well, you're doing just fine with one. Is it a different sign-up process to be a living versus if you pass and you give your kidney, you give your organs to science?
Oh yeah, it's a lot more to be
Involved,
a living
because
donor.
you have to be tested and.
Well, not and you're also tested psychologically as well to make sure you're going to be okay afterwards.
Yes.
You might think it's a good idea, but they want to make sure that you're stable and you really know what you're getting into.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's.
Congratulations on doing what you've done. I know that you keep saying that they're a great family, and they are, and they've taken these 3 beautiful children from another country, given them a home, so that's beautiful too. But hats off to you. A year later and you're doing well, and so is he, and that's a great happy ending for everybody.
Thank you. And they do say in the program that you feel really good about being able to do something for somebody else like that, and that's very true.
I believe it is. I believe you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, the Camel's Kidney Walk is at McDonald Park, September 24th. The information is on the screen as well if you'd like to learn more. We're back after a quick break. Stay with us.